what would be the best way for our listeners to, in relation to improving their borrowing capacity? What would you recommend? A couple of key notes, what to do. A couple of lenders that I've spoken to in the past have said, if you've got any credit cards, just pay your credit cards off and cancel them while you're busy doing your loans. I mean, that reflects on your credit rating, and it's a silly little thing that most of us don't even think about, but actually it's one of the things that does impact on your loans.
Just little things where if you know what you've got access to and you know what you've got. So sometimes you just forget, like you've had a credit card for years. That's a great example. That's the most common one we find. The other one is debt consolidation. That's a really big one. And this is particularly for self-employed people where I might buy my office and then I have some leases for cars and then I have some equipment. Now, if that's all wrapped under, and there's horses for courses here, so I put a big caveat over this one, but it's one that we see a lot. The individual cost of each one of those adds up to a really large number. So that impacts your monthly cash flow. When we're assessing borrowing capacity particularly, we have to look at what income do you have coming in against what expenses do you have. And the bank always wants a little buffer. So where you've got 5 debts, for example, that are all, one might be 5 years, one might be 3 years, one might be 15 years, another one might be 30 years. If we can get that all under one umbrella and spread it out as much as possible, we just make an instant improvement to your borrowing capacity. It's just incredible. So debt consolidation would be, after doing a credit report, to work out, okay, what still resides on your credit report? Because often they get it wrong too. We've found countless errors that loans just they're not there anymore. It's gone. So we go, okay, well, let's take that out, get it removed. And then we start to look at, okay, what's the lender going to look at now and how are they going to view what they see? So we just make sure that we know what they know. And then we start to strategize and go, okay, let's have a look at consolidating some debt and bringing it under one loan amount and stretching that right out. So that can make a massive difference. Other things that I popped in there are rate reductions. So if you've got an existing rate, let's just trim it right up. And if they won't trim it up enough with what's competitive in the market, then we refinance it and take it somewhere else. You probably find yourself with a cash back, So not only will you save money, but you'll actually have money back in your pocket that, you can go and buy those new golf clubs or take a weekend away. But there's a lot of competition. The other thing I put there is just reducing your monthly living expenses. Sometimes, this doesn't always happen in the commercial world, just depends on how the structure looks. But if there's lots of different lending things that they're looking at and they want to assess that, particularly the majors, they're the most scrutinising in how they go about assessments. And this is why sometimes we look to use non-bank lenders that are a bit more lateral, a bit more flexible, because they won't go through, they're looking for reasons to write a deal, not looking for reasons why we can't write a deal. So it just depends on where they're at in their cycle of book balancing.